been involved as a family for, I want to say now it's nearly 20 years, maybe. My background is volunteer management. I was looking for a family-friendly opportunity. I was tabling, I was recruiting volunteers, and Dolores Project was there. And she talked about the dinners, family dinners, serving. And so I thought that it would be a great family activity when my kids were younger. Having said that, my family are voluntold, so they've been coming to my volunteer events since they were 1 and 3, because that was my job, and so it was kind of like everybody shows up. But most importantly, just putting them in Dolores Project in the community. They made strong relationships with the guests at a young age and the staff who have seen them grown. So now they're 28 and 30. Realized probably in high school the impact it had on them and how they carry it forward. And they talk about it all the time, about how the difference that it made and the people that they met and we've all become advocates for the unhoused. Gilbert puts his heart into it. You know, he's a self-employed plumber, and on the first Thursday of the month he doesn't work because it's a full day. The whole day he's at the stove, he's standing, and he's, you know, because it's all in timing. Otherwise, it's not tasty. If you're flash cooking, it's not tasty. So his signature dishes are chicken mole, beans and rice, fresh tortillas, and then soda, and then Cakes by Karen donates the desserts. So he puts a lot of heart and a lot of work into it. But what I also like people to know is I'm the sous chef. He's a messy cook, and the kitchen's a mess when he leaves. A couple of times is our guest going through, and one of the guests said, we're always in a good mood when the Vasquez family comes. And then we'll get guests that I haven't had enchiladas like this since my grandma made them, or since I was a little girl. And we've had other guests who are from, New Mexico or different parts. And like, I miss this cooking opening. And so I could just see it, in their, in the way they make eye contact, and the way, when I see them sitting down, you can tell that they're just really comfortable, like they're in a good place, they're in a secure place. They have a hot meal, they're not worried about where the next meal is going to come from. I feel like the wraparound services that are offered by Dolores Project, you can see that impact as the guests go through the line. How you would need that in your life, you need to be fed, you need a place to sleep, you need a safe place to be, to move forward. How do you get out of a cycle if you have to worry about the next meal, or, am I going to get a bed tonight? You see a lot of need. It's nice to see this where, we're meeting that need. And you just walk in and there's just, oh, welcome, we're glad you made it. Oh, do you need any help? So you always feel welcomed when you get there. So it's a lot of work, but we know it's going to be appreciated when we get there. And I think that's why we love doing it. It's because it's more like we see our family the first Thursday of the month. We're going to see the staff, we're going to see the volunteers, and we're going to see the guests. A friend of our kids went to school with one of the board members, and I saw her out in the community, and I noticed in the annual report that she sat on the board, and I mentioned that to her. And she said, you should join the board. I said, yeah, I wouldn't. That sounds interesting. I wouldn't mind doing that. I'm already volunteering, so yeah, let me know. And then she did. She followed up. She followed up. And so I got on when it was transitioning from the old location to the new location. Part of when we're there at the Dolores Project, we can feel her presence. We can feel her spirit. Her and all of those before her, the past executive directors and staff, and they left a gift of themselves and of their work, and so we want to be able to do that as a family and as a volunteer. That's what you hope, is that you're gifting your precious time and talents, and then hoping that it will grow.